My name is Raghu Kakarala. I was COO of Spunlogic, one of the fastest growing interactive marketing agencies here in the Southeast. We were growing so fast and bringing on such quality clients that we caught the attention of some potential acquirers, and we were eventually acquired by Engage. Throughout that process, we were advised by a number of excellent partners, a transactional law firm, an accounting firm. We got audited, and when the time came to find out if we had all the advisors necessary to get the most out of the transaction, well, we came to the realization that we were missing one. And it didn't come quickly, but eventually we realized that we needed an expert financial advisor sitting on our side of the table throughout the process through due diligence and the transaction itself. And we found TechCXO. So you only go through the transaction process once. You build up a great business, you know everything about your business, but the one thing you haven't done before is sell it. Just by virtue of the fact that you've built it from scratch, you only go through the sales process once. So when you do that, how do you know that you have everybody at the table? So we asked around, we assembled a good cadre of advisors. We have an excellent investment bank, a great transactional law firm, and all these advisors, and we thought we were set. And as we started going through there, a pitch book was created, it was sent out, some of the other processes became true, and then right around the time of the letter of intent, the question was asked, who do we really want to represent our numbers? Ultimately, we needed to know everything that we could about our own firm. We are the ones selling our firm to the buyers. But as far as being an expert, having somebody on your side of the table to represent the true story behind everything that happened, we needed somebody else. And through a reference from our investment bank is how we found Rick Lynch at TechCXO. And sometimes this company has a story to tell, a story based on what you've done in the past, how you've grown, how the founders have come together to create this great value in the employees that you have. There's another story as well, a story that the buyer sees. And the buyer sees your history, it sees what you've become, but it's also trying to see what you can become as part of them. They're trying to see a story that emerges out of the numbers that fits into the thing that they want in the future. And when you look through these numbers, sometimes you're only seeing it from your point of view, and to have a third-party advisor come in, look at it from both your point of view and from the buyer's point of view, and take these numbers and have a rock-solid story that ties everything together, that allows the buyer to see it the way they want to see it, that allows the audit firm that they come in to be able to be satisfied that everything is good and true, yet be able to have some story emerge out of that and be supported by the numbers is very, very important. And TechCXO is able to bring the true story of Spunlogic to life, represent the numbers accurately and succinctly, be very professional, and represent us, and feel that we had a meeting of equals when we were talking with the buyer. And I think that sense of equality, of quality, of confidence was just very, very important. And that's what we were able to get out of TechCXO. We had a great team assembled. I was the only member. And I knew everything that I knew, and I didn't know anything that I didn't know. And it was really important for me to be more confident at the table, to be able to have some of the knowledge that I didn't have within me. I needed someone to make me smarter about our own numbers, to make me smarter about the entire process. But what I really needed in addition to that was a true expert sitting next to me. Look, what we know is interactive marketing. We know the internet, we know how to bring brands to life, we know how to do what we do at the core of our firm. That's what we needed to be experts at. We needed to be smart about transactions, we needed to be smart about our own finances, but it was going to be impossible to be a true expert, and I think you're deluding yourself if you think that you could be an expert in what your business does and an expert in business in general. And what we were able to have is somebody who could make me smarter, make me represent the company in the true light that it should be in, but also back that up with the expertise in how all the numbers were represented, on how everything's going to go forward, how projections were put together. Look, they're projections. You can't predict the future. But unless you have a solid grounding in why you think the future is going to be what it is, you're not going to be believed by anyone, and let alone I don't think you'll believe yourself. But by laying the numbers down in the spreadsheets, in all of the process that TechCXO had, we were able to confidently state why we thought the future was going to be the way it was. And TechCXO was able to bring that to life, have confidence in me have confidence in them, and the buyer have confidence in us. And that was one of the true highlights of the entire transactional process, of being able to arm yourself with information, represent your own firm the way you feel that it should be represented properly, and to have a meeting of equals that comes together in a decision between a buyer and seller that needs to be mutual and have a sense of confidence on both sides. Sometimes I think as you go through a process, you think about fees. You yourself are thinking about an outcome, but everybody else that you hire to do different tasks, to audit you, to do these books, to do this process, to take a cut of a transaction like an investment bank does, all of that comes back to, I pay this money and I make that money. And it's really not true. You make this money at the end of the day. And that's minus whatever transaction fees there are, but that's the wrong way to look at the math. I think it's, what do you think the company's worth? Quite frankly, you're not an expert at that. You have a pretty good guess. But using an expert that comes in, the return on those fees is tenfold, 20-fold. And quite frankly, in this market environment where loans are harder to get, money's a little bit tighter, maybe it's the difference between a sale or no sale. So is that an infinite return on investment? You know, honestly, in this market environment, it is. It's a infinitely higher return on investment than a sale that doesn't go through. You need to make sure that your numbers are buttoned up. You need to make sure that you are an expert in your business and that you have an expert in the finance of your business coming together to represent yourself at the table. Or a sale won't go through, or if a sale does go through, how do you know you got the true value out of the story? The buyer is buying you for a reason. They feel that they can make more than what they paid over a period of time, with including your help, of course, as you come together in the group that they're putting together. But there's a reason they think that. They're smart. They have a history of doing these transactions. And by having a confidence of somebody who has done that transaction history from the seller perspective in TechCXO, you're able to find out why you're being bought, what you should be bought for on a relative basis in the market today, and that you will be bought because you are representing yourself professionally in a way that their audit firm, that their own financial advisors on the buyer side can feel has a legitimate reason that it will pay off for them in the future.